Well, almost Merry Christmas. It's rapidly coming upon us, isn't it? And you've figured out by now that I enjoy the scriptures and seeing about them. But this one has sort of bothered me in this way. We are getting ready to party and do all kinds of wonderful things. And a great part of the world is just blowing itself up with all kinds of tragedy. We've seen it on TV, we've seen it a lot. And it just bothered me. During Advent, I noticed this year, there was a consistency in the scriptures. The first reading from the Old Testament, when life was tough, they describe it, but they always had hope that God was going to rescue us. In the second reading, pretty consistently, St. Paul talked about the challenges of life. And he always had confidence that God was going to rescue us. And then, of course, the gospel came, and stories about Jesus were told with the hope that he would rescue us. And we fast forward the film to our day, and we're getting ready to celebrate fun, food, friendship, all of those wonderful things that are part of our Christmas. But we look at the news, and people have so little, so many. So how do we do that? How do we do that? How do we celebrate Christmas with gratitude in our hearts for all of God's love? Invite our kids to understand all of that, but at the same time challenge ourselves and our kids to think about people who have so little, people that are suffering terribly from our inhumanity to each other. So I guess my thing for the closing of Advent would be, we want to celebrate, we want to know God's with us, we want to be appreciative and responsive to that, but we also want to tell our kids that there are a lot of people in our world who have far, far less than we have. Just for life itself is a gift for them, and a broken gift sometimes. How do we say that to them without being grumpy? Some grandparents, their nickname is Grumpies. The grandfathers are Grumps. So we don't want to be Grumps. We want our kids to know that a lot of people in our world are suffering. And if we're disciples of Jesus, we've got to keep that in mind and find ways of not spreading hatred and violence, but ways of spreading peace and love. That's a big job for us at Christmas. So I hope your Christmas is wonderful and cheerier than this message, but it's just real. And if we're people of faith, we've got to let that be known. So have a blessed Christmas.